Lesson 4-6, Probability and Odds. In this lesson, you learn to find the probability of a simple event and to find the odds of a simple event. Let's take a look at this real-world application. Have you ever heard of someone say that one man's trash is another man's treasure? Okay. For a garbage truck driver, Craig Randall of East Bridgewater, Massachusetts, the treasure was a hamburger chain soft drink cup. By peeling off a contest sticker on a discarded cup, Randall won the grand prize of $200,000 towards the purchase of a home. Okay, since there was only one grand prize available, and 24,059,900 cups were distributed, the probability of winning the grand prize was 1 out of 24,059,900. Okay, so this is a good example of probability. You can calculate the chance or probability that a certain event, such as the winning particular prize, will happen. The probability of an event is the ratio of the number of ways a certain event can occur to the number of possible outcomes. Okay? Again, this is the definition of probability in words. Ratio of the number of ways a certain event can occur to the number of possible outcomes. The numerator is the number of favorable outcomes, and the denominator is the total number of possible outcomes. Okay, remember this definition because once we go to odds, the definition will change. Again, the numerator in this case is the number of favorable outcomes, and the denominator is the number of possible outcomes. Okay? The probability of an event may be written as a percent, a fraction, or a decimal. For example, okay, let's take a look at this one. Suppose you want to know the probability of getting a 2 on one roll of a die. When you roll a die, there are 6 possible outcomes. You know what a die is. A die is a singular of dice. Okay. Of these outcomes, only one is favorable, a 2. Therefore, the probability is 1 out of 6 because there's one favorable outcomes and there are 6 total number of possible outcomes. We write P parentheses 2 to represent the probability of getting a 2 on one roll of a die. So we go to the definition of probability, and simply this: the probability of an event occurring is equal to the number of favorable outcomes over the total number of possible outcomes. Let's take a look at this example, and you probably will recognize this example because this is nothing more than Scrabble. Okay, Lauren is representing her sophomore class in a word board game tournament. She is the first player to select her 7 tiles out of the 100 available tiles. The distribution of tiles is shown at the right. Find the probability of each selection. Letters JQ, JKQXZ has only 1 tile each. B, C, F, H, M, P, V, W, Y, and the blank tile, 2 tiles each. Okay. Letter G has 3 tiles. D, L, S, U has 4 tiles. N, R, T has 6. O has 8. A, I has 9 each, and E, okay, has 12 tiles in that particular game. Okay. So using that table, let's answer the first question. What is the probability of an O on the very first selection? Okay, so the probability of an O in the very first selection would be, first let's analyze that there are 8 O's, okay, 8 O tiles and 100 tiles in all. So the probability of selecting an O would be 8 over 100 or 2 over 25. Okay, so the probability that Lauren selects an O is 2 over 25 or around 8%. Okay, so let's take a look at the probability of selecting an E. Okay, if 5 tiles have been selected and 2 of them were already E's. Okay, so again there are 12 tiles, 12 E tiles. If 2 of them have been chosen, 10 will remain in the pile. There are 100 minus 5 or 95 tiles left from which to select. Therefore, the probability of choosing an E will be equal to 10 over 95, 10 being the 10 e-tiles that remain in the pile, and 95 being the total number of tiles to select from. Simplifying 10 over 95, it becomes 2 over 19. So the probability of choosing an E is 2 over 19, or about 10%. Okay? And then, the probability that an event will occur is always somewhere between 0 and 1. The probability 0 means that it is impossible for an event to occur. Okay, a good example is what's the probability of the cow flying over the moon? Obviously, that's going to be a 0. It's impossible for that event to occur. The probability of 1 simply means that event is certain to occur. What's the probability of Mr. Francis giving you homework in the future? That is a certainty right there. And finally, the probability between 0 and 1 means that an event is neither impossible nor certain. Okay? So based on the situations above, the probability of any event can be expressed as the probability of an event is greater than or equal to 0 and less than or equal to 1. It cannot be greater than 1, it cannot be less than 0. It's in between 0 and 1. Okay? So another way to express a chance of an event occurring, well, that's the odds. We're not in odds yet. Okay? Some outcomes have an equal chance of occurring before we go to odds. Okay? We say that some outcomes are equally likely when the outcome is chosen without any preference. We say that the outcome occurs at random. Okay, so I wasn't able to put it on the slide, but look at your book and it will tell you more or less when some outcomes are equally likely, when they have equal chance of occurring, and when an outcome is chosen without any preference, we say that the outcome occurs at random. So write down the definition of equally likely and random, and you can find this in your book. Okay? And let's talk about odds now. Another way to express a chance of an event occurring is with odds. An odds of an event is the ratio that compares the number of ways an event can occur to the number of ways it cannot occur. So know the difference between the definition of an odds, okay, and a probability. So in this case, the odds is the ratio that compares the number of ways an event can occur to the number of ways it cannot occur. Slow motion highlighting there. Okay. Going to the definition of odds. Definition of odds is simply the odds of an event occurring is the ratio of the number of ways an event can occur, successes, to the number of ways an event cannot occur, failures. Okay. So odds equals the number of successes to the number of failures. Okay? Let's take a look at example number 2. Mike's Submarine Shop has a business card drawing for a free lunch every Tuesday. 4 co-workers from Invo Accounting put their business cards in the bowl for a drawing. If 80 cards were in the bowl, what were the odds that one co-workers will win a free lunch? So what do we know? Okay, we know the co-workers have 4 of the 80 business cards. Thus, there are 80 minus 4, or 76 business cards that will not be winning cards for the co-workers. So when you talk about the odds of winning will be equal to the number of chances of drawing of winning a card to the number of chances of drawing other cards. So the odds of success to the odds of failure. Number of chances of drawing a winning card to the number of chances of drawing other cards. So in this case, you know that there are 4 chances, okay, of drawing a winning card, and there are 76 chances of drawing other cards. Therefore, the ratio is 1 to 19. Okay, the odds would be 1 to 19. Okay, and let's take a look at the last example. Or before we go there, let me give you an easier way of doing this. Okay, these are the total number of outcomes. So all you need to do is get the number of successes, which is 4, and the number of failures, which is 76. And if you notice, 4 plus 76 will total 80. Okay? And then simply reduce this. That's 1 to 19. Let's take a look at the last example. And in the last example, refer to the beginning of the lesson. The probability of winning any prize or food discount in the peel-off sticker contest was 20% or 1/5. Find the odds of winning a prize or discount. So by finding the probability, we can also find the odds of winning a prize or discount. Okay, let's take a look at how. If the probability of winning a prize or discount is 1/5, then the number of successes of winning a prize obviously is 1, while the total number of outcomes will be 5. This means that the number of failures, okay, no prize, must be 5 minus 1, or 4. Or you can do this. You get the denominator of your probability, that is the total number of outcomes, and split it up. Since there is 1 possible success and 4 possible failures, okay, the odds would be 1 to 4. Okay, so the odds of winning a prize would be the number of successes to the number of failures. In this case, it would be 1 to 4. Okay, and that's the end of the lesson. Thank you for watching.